Hello, folks. One more thing that I want to go over in terms of characterization moves beyond just talking about implicit or explicit characterization. We also need to consider that there are different types of characters that we might encounter. These are types of characters that show up all the time in all different types of situations. If we take a look here, we've got 4: dynamic, round, static, and flat. And what we're going to see here is 2 opposites. So a dynamic character is one that changes throughout the story. There's personal growth, a new set of morals, new outlooks on life. They could be round or flat, and they are going against static. So a character is going to be either dynamic or static. In dynamic, the character changes. In static, the character does not change. They stay the same. In many movies or TV shows, what we end up seeing is that our main character changes in some way. Maybe they're grumpy at the beginning and by the end they learn a life lesson. Or maybe they are really kind of pessimistic or negative at the beginning, and then something amazing happens, and by the end they're really optimistic and much happier. Okay? So dynamic versus static, that deals with the idea of change. Then we have our round versus flat. A round character is fully developed, many qualities and personality traits. A round character is more like a real person. Okay? Real people, we're complicated. There are good parts to us, there are bad parts to us. There are things we're proud of, things we're not proud of. We have contradictions, meaning that maybe sometimes you're shy and sometimes you're outgoing. You're not always the same. You've got a lot of different things going on. A flat character is one that can only be described in a few words. Flat characters tend to be our side characters, somebody who doesn't really show up that often. Maybe if it's a 2-hour movie, they're in the movie for 4 or 5 minutes. We just don't get that much for them. You can maybe list 2, 3, or 4 character traits, but that's about it. Okay? So we can have a dynamic character that is round. We can have a dynamic character that is flat. We can have a round character, or what's the other way to do it? We can have a static character that is round or a static character that is flat. We can have a flat character that's static or dynamic. So we can switch them up, but you can only ever be dynamic or static or round or flat, one of those things, okay? So this is something to keep in mind. Particularly, we want to look for those characters that are dynamic and those characters that are round, because there's always a lot more to them. So when you realize that a character has changed, or that there are so many different aspects to a character, you really need to keep that in mind when you're thinking about them and maybe predicting what will happen in the book, or looking back at why they did something within the plot of the story.